This is my neuron for AP Psychology. The neuron is a nerve cell that is in the brain. First off, we have the dendrite, which is going to receive messages from other neurons located in the brain, and it's going to send these messages to the cell body. And now the cell body will create neural impulses, which are basically electric signals, and they're going to travel down the axon. And the axon will help pass messages to other neurons or muscles or glands, and it is surrounded by the myelin sheath that will help protect the axon and speeds up the process of sending out these neural impulses. Around the axon, we got negative and positive ions. And when the axon is in resting potential, all the positive ions are located outside the axon, while all of the negative ones are located inside the axon. And in order for a positive ion to get into the axon, it's going to have to open up a gate that happens when one of the neural impulses goes through the axon. And this will cause depolarization, which will keep opening up gates to allow these positive ions to get in. And this process of positive ions and negative ions going in and out of the axon will occur about 100 to 1,000 times a second, so it goes pretty fast. And then we also right here have terminal branches, which are attached to the axon and also help to speed off the sending of the messages. So there's also this thing called excitatory release, which is when the speed of the release goes like really fast. In the textbook that we had, it kind of compared it to like when you hit acceleration on a car. And then there's also inhibitory, which doesn't occur as much, but it slows down the sending of these messages. And there's this definition called the action potential, which will occur when the number of excitatory signals minus the number of inhibitory signals is actually greater than the threshold required to trigger a neural impulse. So a threshold is basically how much energy that this neuron can hold. So when it becomes greater than that, it's going to help send it off and branch off the messages into other neurons. And how these messages get through is there's a small space between two neurons known as the node of Ranvier, and there are going to be neurotransmitters in the small gap, which are going to help pass the messages between each one of them. Sometimes reuptake can occur too, where the neurotransmitters will actually absorb the neuron, and then the other neuron is not going to get these messages.